अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं आपका होस्ट सलीम बिन मोहम्मद रफ़ी एंड हियर इज़ माय यूट्यूब चैनल ज़मीर यूनिवर्सल. There is a common say, and this phrase I think is for time and memorial is known to everybody else, that if you come across a enemy or especially a deadly snake who is nature to bite and kill, I am talking of the poisonous venomous snake like cobra. I am not talking of the non-poisonous snake. So you know it when you have injured that snake and not completely killed him, then he is going to recover and then bite you and then kill you back. If you have seen a fight between mangoes, gang and the cobra, and then you see how cleverly a small tiny mangoes overcomes that cobra and kills him. It requires patience, technique, and I think persistently does it. Unfortunately, I can't say these words for Iran or Hezbollah or Hamas or Houthis. Anyone who has, taken to fight back these criminals, the war criminals, the biggest and the most venomous, poisonous snake, Netanyahu, and and his father, or whose son, or whatever he is, he's an animal or Satan. That is at the moment Donald Trump. But if it goes back 35, 40 years ago, you can have a list of presidents, and you can see that how the American president, even in 1948, how venomous that snake must have been, that who implanted with 5,000 only, immigrants, impoverished, hungry, left over as immigrants, and with open arms the Arabs, even when they had child, being born, their men and women were busy and we had very little food accommodated in their house. See what they have done since that. Then they eaten up the same, or they urinated in the same plate they ate, the one which helped them put the meals, spit it on them. So now you do ever wonder why Hitler had to incinerate them or put them in gas chamber, which I think is millions times exaggerated, because if you count the number of incinerators and the gas chambers and the count, it will be hardly few thousands. So even that to me is cruel, and Hitler should not have done it. Human dignity doesn't require that you burn people alive or you do this. But look what they have done in Gaza. Give me one historical parallel where you find that people, you starve kids, kill them, and purposely you shoot them as they are target, and you laugh and you smile, and to go walk into any home in West Bank and say that I'm here, if I don't take your house, somebody else will. So because I am that swine, that pig who has come on invitation of his father, the other snake, Zionist, Netanyahu, with the support of the largest, biggest snake, out of 50, 48 times he vetoed. So no action, no accountability for that, and been protecting him from the International Court of Justice and Criminal Court, although the warrants are out. The continuing genocide, and funnily enough, that's son-in-law of that big snake, which is at the moment Donald Trump, is Jared Kushner, who I'll show you, he wants that Palestinians must be killed out of that place, and the tunnels they did to defend themselves and to live them. Let this stupid swine live in that, in the open prison in the whole world, and then I'll ask him whether to fight for your right from where they are going to expel you. Is that more important, or your bloody beach villa or development is so? What kind of nonsense and education you are talking about? You are a bloody, a realtor estate. So the dirty blood which you carry, and you passed it on to the other daughter, and who he says that even they're doing about that whether it's a daughter-father relationships also been under question. So it's with a family of such people, and then declaring a war criminal as a hero, because he is doing a good job in doing the genocide and killing. And now look at recently, look with and die with shame that you are denying visas to think when the whole world is recognizing the state of Palestine after 100 years of her atrocities, barbarism, and murder, and now denying visas so they don't attend. So hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. So to kill that snake, in my view, Iran should have continued it till the last, Zionist was done, and every area they had done started, focused from Iraq or Tel Aviv or from Jerusalem, and then have people, the ground forces, to take control and give them due notice to all those settlers to get out of their houses or put dynamite all around them and destroy, as they have done to Gaza. Do the same thing to Tel Aviv, give them due notice to leave and get out. You have no right to be in Palestine, so get out. You came begging, from Poland or other parts of Eastern Europe. So now is the time now. You had enough of this, and time is enough. So I myself, when this is why I'm entitling, the title I'm giving to this is that never leave this snake completely killed.
Israel bombed Doha, right where America runs its largest airbase. Don't be fooled. No jet could cross those skies without U.S. approval. This wasn't Israel acting alone. It was a joint signal of power and betrayal. Every radar around Al Udeid Air Base would have tracked the attack. Washington's complicity is undeniable. By allowing this strike, the U.S. proved that Qatar's so-called ally status collapses the moment Israel demands protection. Qatar is now the 10th country hit by Israel since October 2023. From Gaza to Lebanon, from Syria to Iraq, Iran, Yemen, and Egypt, to international waters near Malta, the flotilla ship in Tunisia, and today, Doha. Netanyahu's doctrine erases all borders. Expansion without restraint, violence without accountability. This is the blueprint of Greater Israel. Hamas leaders were in Doha, reviewing Donald Trump's latest ceasefire plan when Israel struck. This is the pattern. Dangle negotiations, keep them busy, then assassinate them mid-talks. Israel does not want peace, only impunity. Reports emerged that the delegation, headed by senior official Khalil al-Hayya, survived the Israeli strike in Doha. Sources told news outlets. But survival doesn't change the outcome. This was a blatant act of war, carried out with American cover. By green-lighting the Doha strike, Washington and Tel Aviv delivered one chilling message. Arab sovereignty exists only at Israel's convenience. No capital is safe, not even under America's shadow. What do you think this means for the region? Share your thoughts in the comments. Israel bombed Doha, right where America runs its largest airbase. Don't be fooled. No jet could cross those skies without U.S. approval. This wasn't Israel acting alone. It was a joint signal of power and betrayal. Every radar around Al Udeid Air Base would have tracked the attack. Washington's complicity is undeniable. By allowing this strike, the U.S. proved that Qatar's so-called ally...
The economic earthquake that could collapse the American economy just happened. Qatar is preparing to cancel what could be the largest economic partnership in modern history, worth over $1.5 trillion, 0 cents in long-term commitments to the United States. The Israeli strike on Doha has triggered a financial crisis that will reverberate through every sector of the American economy, from energy to defense to technology, and the damage could take decades to repair. Less than 4 months ago, President Donald J. Trump secured a historic $1.2 trillion 0 cents economic commitment in Qatar, celebrating what the White House called the largest single economic partnership agreement in American history. Trump stood alongside Qatari leadership, promising a new era of cooperation that would benefit both nations for generations. Today, those promises lie in ruins, destroyed by bombs that fell on Qatari soil with apparent American approval. The scope of what's at risk is staggering. Qatar has invested more than $30 billion, 0 cents, in various projects in the U.S., with Qatar Energy alone managing partnerships worth billions in American infrastructure. The Golden Pass LNG project, where Qatar will receive the first shipment of gas by the end of the year, represents just one piece of an integrated energy partnership that underpins American energy security. But the LNG deals are only the beginning. McDermott continues its strong partnership with Qatar Energy, currently managing 7 active projects worth $8.5 billion, 0 cents, as the sole provider of offshore components for Qatar's major LNG expansion. Engineering firm Parsons has secured 30 projects worth up to $97 billion, 0 cents, while defense contractors like Raytheon secured a $1 billion 0 cents contract during Trump's visit. All of these agreements are now under review as Qatar reassesses its relationship with a partner that allowed attacks on its sovereign territory. The quantum technology partnership alone represents a fundamental shift in global technological leadership. Quantinuum finalized a joint venture agreement with Al Raban Capital that will see Qatar invest up to $1 billion, 0 cents, in quantum technologies. This isn't just about money. This is about the future of computing, encryption, and technological supremacy. If Qatar cancels these agreements and redirects this investment to China or Europe, America could lose its edge in the most critical technology of the 21st century. The aviation sector faces even more immediate devastation. Qatar Airways represents one of the world's largest airline operations, with massive orders for American-built aircraft and partnerships with American aerospace companies. The potential cancellation of aircraft orders alone could cost American manufacturers tens of thousands of jobs and billions in lost revenue. Energy security implications extend far beyond current partnerships. Qatar is currently the world's largest LNG exporter, and approximately 360 billion cubic meters per year of LNG export capacity is expected to come online globally between 2025 and the early 2030s. After the U.S., the second largest expansion will come from Qatar. If Qatar redirects this massive expansion away from American partnerships, the United States loses both energy security and economic benefits worth hundreds of billions of dollars. The timing of this crisis reveals the catastrophic miscalculation behind American foreign policy. The Trump administration increasingly views its foreign policy through a mercantilist lens, exerting pressure on long-term allies to buy more American products and services and invest in the United States. Qatar responded to this pressure with unprecedented investment commitments, only to have their sovereignty violated with apparent American knowledge and consent. Qatar's energy minister Saad Al-Kaabi had been enthusiastic about expanding partnerships with the United States, but sources close to the Qatari government now report that all major agreements are being reviewed by legal teams looking for cancellation clauses. When a nation that has invested $30 billion, 0 cents, in your economy starts looking for ways to withdraw those investments, you know the relationship has been fundamentally damaged. The defense implications are equally severe. Qatar hosts major American military installations and serves as a crucial strategic partner in Middle East operations. The attack on Doha doesn't just threaten commercial partnerships, it threatens the entire American military infrastructure in the Gulf region. Qatar could demand the closure of American military facilities, forcing a complete restructuring of American strategic positioning in the Middle East. Regional energy dynamics add another layer of complexity to this crisis. Qatar's strong partnerships with China and India, its largest LNG buyers, provide alternative markets that don't depend on American cooperation. Qatar's energy minister recently noted that they are discussing additional volumes with us, as are many other countries. This means Qatar has options that America doesn't, and those options are looking more attractive every day. The psychological impact on Qatari leadership cannot be overstated. Leaders who believed they had built personal relationships with Trump administration officials now realize they were targets of sophisticated manipulation, designed to extract economic concessions while offering no real security protection. The humiliation of having bombs fall on their capital while their supposed American partners either enabled or failed to prevent the attack demands a response that goes beyond diplomatic protests. Financial markets are already reflecting the new reality. Energy futures are spiking as traders anticipate disruption to Qatar-US LNG partnerships. Defense contractor stocks are declining as investors price in the potential loss of major Qatari contracts. Technology stocks with quantum computing exposure are falling as the market recognizes that American technological leadership could be threatened if Qatar redirects its quantum investments to competing nations. The legal implications are staggering. International lawyers are already analyzing whether the attack on Qatar violates the terms of various partnership agreements between the United States and Qatar. If American knowledge or consent for the attack can be proven, Qatar may have legal grounds to cancel agreements worth hundreds of billions of dollars while seeking damages for breach of partnership obligation. European and Asian competitors are moving quickly to capitalize on this crisis. Chinese energy companies are reportedly already in discussions with Qatar about expanding partnerships that could replace American agreements. European defense contractors are positioning themselves to capture contracts that American companies may lose. The speed of these alternative arrangements suggests that America's competitors saw this crisis coming and were prepared to exploit it. The precedent being set extends far beyond the immediate Qatar crisis. Every American partner worldwide is now questioning whether their investments and partnerships offer real security or just expensive vulnerability to American policy changes. If the United States will abandon Qatar despite $30 billion, 0 cents in investments and strategic partnerships, what protection do any American partners actually have? Intelligence reports suggest that Qatar's decision-making process has moved beyond anger to strategic calculation. Qatari leadership understands that emotional responses rarely produce effective results, but systematic economic and strategic retaliation can reshape power relationships permanently. The question is no longer whether Qatar will respond, but how comprehensively they will restructure their relationship with the United States. The timing of potential cancellations is crucial for maximizing economic damage to American interests. Qatar could announce partnership reviews during critical budget cycles, forcing American companies to report massive potential losses to shareholders. The psychological impact on American markets could trigger broader economic consequences that extend far beyond the immediate partnerships at risk. Congressional leaders are reportedly beginning to understand the scope of the crisis, with some privately admitting that the Israeli strike on Qatar represents one of the greatest foreign policy disasters in American history. The potential economic consequences could affect every congressional district, making this a domestic political crisis as much as a foreign policy catastrophe. As emergency meetings convene in Doha and corporate boardrooms across America, the scale of Trump's miscalculation becomes apparent. In attempting to support Israeli objectives, his administration may have destroyed the most valuable economic partnership in American history. The bombs that fell on Doha lasted only minutes, but their economic consequences could reshape global power relationships for decades. Qatar's big move isn't just about canceling deals. It's about teaching America that some partnerships are too valuable to betray, and some lessons are too expensive to ignore.
यूनिवर्सल टेलीविजन को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। उसके बाद बेल बटन पे क्लिक करें और अपने कमेंट्स के सेक्शन में अपने कीमती जो ख्यालात का इजहार ज़रूर